Hi, friends.
A little higher pitch, would you?
Hi, friends.
There we go. Get that excitement.
Welcome back to another episode of Double Take the Podcast. It's Chris here and my buddy Josh.
Yeah. Hi, friends.
There you go.
Yep.
You're getting better at it.
I'm good at it.
And we got Danny here with us for
Part
part
two.
two
Hey, friends.
of the Danny Riley episode.
That was a little weak, Danny. Give us
Yeah,
one
that's
more.
the best I can do. I can't do y'all's.
Hi, friend.
No, I think we established that last time.
Yes,
Yeah,
you
I
did.
I wasn't going to bring it
Hey,
back up.
a little reminder.
Well, you know, we got Thanksgiving coming up, Danny.
Yes, we do.
In a few weeks, days, and so there's
You really
we can-
tore up over this.
Well,
What's
we
the
can
problem?
also, everybody's already heard, what we're thankful for. That's what everybody's expecting us to ask, but
But nobody really cares, right?
No.
That's what you're saying.
but I don't know. Is there a specific tradition that y'all have in your house for Thanksgiving? Do you do anything special this year? Or?
Well, when I think about Thanksgiving growing up, my mother worked so hard making the, chicken and dressing. She'd cook cornbread and let it, get cold. And then I always remembered her and Dad in there crumbling the cornbread. And it was incredible.
I heard she was an excellent cook.
Oh, she was incredible. And Dad was, he was the one that she let him taste it to make sure she didn't get too much sage in it. That was always the big thing. But
Yeah.
But Thanksgiving, it was, every year it was a big deal. It was, my mother absolutely put on a spread, and, it was just all about the family getting together. And, as time passed and grandparents passed away, the gathering got a little smaller, and then everybody started getting married and having kids, and then it got bigger. And it's just always been a time with family, and all those things that we're thankful for. The most precious things we have down here is our family. So
I'm sure you've had seasons in your life that maybe didn't feel so thankful, or a season that maybe wasn't as joyful time for you, and kind of share how maybe if you can think of a time that when God's faithfulness was shown to you, or you realized God's faithfulness in a season that necessarily wasn't a thankful season.
Well, we've had, and every family does, you have challenges, things that happen. And of course, when my brother was killed, that every time something happens and you lose a family member like that, it changes everything.
Sure.
And it was never the same. There was always that empty spot at the Thanksgiving table. And as time goes on, you're thankful for the memories, you're thankful for God's grace, and he gives us what we need to get through those times. But the toughest, I guess, for me was after Mom passed away. That really, honestly, there for a couple of years, it made all the holidays, they weren't as joyful, and it was just a time, it was just different, and it takes time. I tell people that, are dealing with that, try to focus on the good memories, instead of, focusing on how you feel. Thank God for the time that you had, and focus on all those precious memories that you had with them, and try to honor, their legacy. And, me and Holly, I'll make sweet potato casserole, and I hadn't got there yet, but I'm close to Mama's, But as time passes, God gets you through it, and it's okay to, whatever you might be missing during those times that you grieve over, um, you can look back on it. And, for instance, this Thanksgiving, I'll be thankful. I'm so thankful for those memories. And we'll think about Mom, and we'll think about Doug, and we'll remember those great times that we had, and we carry on. And, we've got so much to be thankful for. And, the song that we recorded on our Right Now album, South of Heaven, it kind of talks about that. You wonder what they're going through right now. What are they doing? And I can only think about the fact that they just got there, and they're probably hadn't even had time to think about us, but
Yeah.
but we're not there, and we wonder. And but yeah, there have been those times, but God is faithful, and He brings us through.
Well, I think we all can identify with that. I've lost people close to me, my grandfather, Josh, your dad,
Oh yeah, lots of them.
and two, Danny, even the group, it's no secret that Gold City's been through challenges and changes over the years, and I'm sure it's been hard for you to remain positive and thankful even in those times.
Oh,
but
very. I mean, those same two situations, when Doug passed away, that it was hard to keep going. There was a big empty spot on the bus. Getting back on the bus without him, it took some time. And then Mom, she handled everything behind the scenes for Gold City. And, she was here one day and gone the next. And I didn't know. I stood there. She worked at the dining room table, and I just stood there staring at all the stuff on the table and thought, I have no idea what I'm going to do. But there have been a lot of tough seasons with Gold City. And, a story that I've never shared publicly, I guess, is that back in 2016, it was after my mom passed away, but we were going through a really hard time financially. The group, we weren't making ends meet. And me and Holly talked and made the decision. I decided that I was going to shut it down and retire the group. I told all the guys on the bus at that time that, y'all start looking. I said, if y'all want to carry on and start a group, I'll do everything I can to help you. I had called Danny Jones and asked him to start working on a press release that would honor the legacy of Gold City. And it was over. That decision was made, and I had no idea what I was going to do next, but it just got so hard. And then I had a moment that I'll never forget it. I'd been praying, Lord, don't let me do this if this is not what I'm supposed to do. And it was as if He needed for me to let go so that He could catch me. Mm-hmm. You're hanging on by a little old tree hanging off the edge of a cliff, and God's like, I've got you, just let go, and you don't want to let go. And I got to a place where I had to let go, and I think that was what He needed for me to do for this to carry on from there. And I'm not gonna say that I heard Him say verbally out loud nothing, but in my spirit I knew that. I talked to Holly and I said, I think that this is not what we need to do. And of course she supported me 100%. But yes, to answer your question, there have been a lot of uncertain times, tough times, and there have been more since then. But I'm going to tell you, this Thanksgiving, I'm I'm very thankful for what God has done in this group and where He's brought us from, and where He's taken it. And it makes all those tough times, honestly, it makes me thankful I didn't quit. I didn't give up.
Yeah.
And like I said, if it weren't for the Lord, we wouldn't be sitting here doing a podcast right now.
Yeah. He's always come through for us.
Yep.
Last time we talked, we kind of left off when you kind of started traveling with the group, singing a little bit. You had just recorded "It's Still the Cross," and they kind of got that backstory on part one of your previous episode. So after that, you how long did you stay with Gold City on the road after you, or you were not with them on the road when you recorded "It's Still the Cross," right? You had not started.
No,
traveling
I had
with
been
them.
going a good bit back when David Hill was here. I went out a lot, and I'd take care of the product table and all that, but I didn't have to go. But after I recorded "It's Still the Cross,"
You were working for Gold City at the time, though.
Oh, I've
handling things.
officially worked for Gold City, like been on the payroll
Yeah.
since I was
3 years old.
well, not officially.
In one way or the other.
No, I mean since I was about. I mean, honestly, probably 19.
Yeah.
And as as time went, I kept, I guess you could say, getting promoted from
From grass mower to
grass mower
merch
to
guy. Well, you started out as a bundler. That was your first
we
official
talked about all
position.
that. But when I went out on the road after we recorded "It's Still the Cross," I basically was just the product guy. The one that set up, took care of the table. And I had other things that I did as well.
Did you start coming up and singing every night then?
Yes.
Had you recorded your solo album at that time?
I recorded my solo album right after we recorded "It's Still the Cross."
Okay.
And
You would typically do a couple of songs when they brought you. Or
yeah,
did you-
I would do a couple of songs. And my solo album did really well. It went certified.
You can't even make something up. You're
Went
searching
certi-
for the right word.
Went certified tenfold. And but no, yeah, I'd come up every night, sing a couple of songs, and then of course we talked about it in the last podcast. I left and went and sang with Tony Gore and Majesty for about 8 or 9 months, and then I came back home, as I like to say, and that's when I started running sound, and I would go up and sing every night, and did that for 5 or 6 years, something like that.
Now you started going to Stamps Baxter School of Music. What was that? What would that have been in the early
Well,
90s?
I went to Stamps Baxter School when I was 17. I only went once. I think I was 17 or 18, somewhere along in there. And my vocal teacher there at the school was Steve Hurst. And that I hate that the singing schools, they don't have those 2-week singing schools like that anymore. I mean, there are some spread out, but I have to say that that's some of my greatest memories, because you're surrounded by everybody that you're around has the same dream that you do.
Mm-hmm.
They have that same excitement, and you're just living in a dream world basically for those 2 weeks. And
Yeah, I went there one year, Stamps Baxter. When it was at at Trevecca then?
I don't think
Steve's was always at Trevecca.
it. Yeah,
Or for a long
it
time.
was
at
for a long
Trevecca.
time. I don't remember where Stamps Baxter was. I don't think it was at Trevecca when I went, but I can't remember. I could be wrong.
But now you met Holly at
Steve's.
Steve's school.
Right. I went to Stamps Baxter, and then a year or two later, Steve started the Steve Hurst School of Music, and I went the first year he had it, and went every year after that. And a couple of years after he had the school, he brought me on staff, and I would teach beginner stuff, just breathing and just that basic stuff.
Sure.
And so I was on staff in 1996. That was the last year I was able to go because I went on the road, and that was a 2-week school in the summer. And but in 1996, Holly came to the school. She just came one night with a friend of hers that his name was Andy Dartery. He had been to the school several years, and we got to be buddies.
Mm-hmm.
So every night we basically had church every night. The staff would be on stage, and if you need to stop me if I'm going too far from where you're trying to go.
No, I was going to get to you meeting Holly.
Yeah. So we were all on stage, and we'd bring some of the students up to sing and whatnot, but I was sitting up there on the stage, and I saw Andy walk in with this girl. And, I was just immediately just taken. Her eyes just, I was just, my jaw was on the floor. And anyway, she came in with Andy, so I assumed it was his girlfriend. But when we got off,
then you trying to think of ways that you were going to sabotage.
well,
Andy.
I was actually thinking, I hope that's not his girlfriend. That's what I was thinking. But so after it was over, we were out in the lobby, and I was like, "Hey, Andy, how you doing?" And we were talking. I said, "Introduce me to your girlfriend." And he said, "Oh, she's not my girlfriend. She's just a friend of mine." And I was like, "Yes."
Yeah.
So,
Look at God.
yeah, I honestly, and she don't believe me to this day, but when I saw her when I was sitting on that stage, I said, "I'm gonna marry her."
Wow.
And so anyway,
Did she know who you were?
Yeah,
she
was Danny Riley. Daniel Riley. What are you talking about?
Well, I
she was-
I didn't know if he threw around that,
No, she was
Riley card.
He didn't have to, buddy.
because of Andy. See, Holly and Andy and another friend of theirs had a little group.
Oh, okay.
They sang
Yeah.
together. And so she was familiar with Gold City.
Right.
And, she wasn't like, she didn't have pictures of Gold City on her walls or nothing like that,
Yeah.
But she knew me by Gold City. And of course, I had not really been on the road, so she didn't. But anyway, that had nothing to do with it. Thank you. But so we got to talking, and I loved when they had a Bennigan's not too far from Trevecca there, and we'd go there a lot during school. So one night a couple of nights later, we decided let's all go to Bennigan's. Well, little did I know that Andy, I think it was Andy, and Holly thought that they might fix me up with her sister Lori.
Holly's sister?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah, because Lori, she lived there in Nashville at the time, and Holly's mom and dad were there, I think. And anyway, they were trying to set me up with Lori, but I wasn't having it.
It wasn't working.
No.
You'd already imprinted on Holly.
That's right.
Is that what they call that? Wasn't that the?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But we started talking a little bit, and I was laying the charm on her and all that, and
Laying the charm on
Yeah.
her. So what would you say? Give me a little Danny Riley charm.
can I have your number?
Oh, you sure are pretty.
Yeah. But we got
give
to
me your
talking.
number and I'll teach you shape notes.
Yes. But I was working on my solo album during that time.
There was a line. I'm doing a solo album.
Uh-huh.
Right there. That was a line you could have used. I'm doing a solo
Yeah,
album.
well, listen. So I did on that album. I did "I Must Tell Jesus,"
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
and I thought it would be cool if I got students from the school to come over and sing on it.
So you told her you play your cards right here.
Yes.
And you can get to sing on my
So
album.
I handpicked students from the school, and we went over to Great Circle Sound, and I made sure she was one of them. And if you if you find one of the 500 CDs that are out there, you'll.
That's our
First
next
pressing.
vinyl release. You didn't know it?
Oh yeah, her name is in the credits under the
Wow.
choir. But yeah, so I
Did
I
you go
tried
ahead and
to-
put Holly Riley just as a?
No, I didn't. But yeah, I was trying to, be Mr. Big Britches up there.
Well, you've always been Mr. Big Britches.
Yeah, well.
Oh, you meant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, but after the school, we talked and started talking on the phone, and we'd email. That was
Yeah.
and one thing led to another, and
Well, y'all got married just a couple of years later, though. Didn't
yeah.
you?
Well,
It wasn't-
we started dating that year. The first time I kissed her was at the Ryman Auditorium.
Good Lord,
Yeah.
man.
I opened at the Ryman for Gold City one night.
You did.
Yeah. And she
I
came.
didn't know that.
She came to support me.
Yeah.
And so I was walking her to her car, and I
There it was.
got me a little peck. But on
Did you pick her up, or did you have to kneel down?
I had to kneel down. But about a year after we met, I heard a preacher say this today. I got down on one knee and said, "Wilt thou?" And she wilted.
That was good.
That was good.
That was a good
I
one.
don't remember his name.
I don't know.
He
He was
had some
great.
great lines.
Yeah.
But no, we were engaged, and then about a year after we met, and then we were dating when I was with Tony Gore, and we got engaged after I left Tony Gore, and then about a year later we got married on July the 1st. I hope that's right.
His name was Reverend Thomas Hammond.
Yeah,
by the
he's
way.
funny.
He is funny, great preacher. He's the
Great preacher.
executive director of the missions for
Georgia Missions
Baptist.
Board, yeah.
I get dates so mixed up because,
That's your anniversary, man. I think you ought to know that one.
well, I do. It's just that
If it's not right, Jackson
we
will
had to
edit
get
it.
married. Look, I'm going to tell y'all, and I don't think Holly would be mad at me for telling it. She's still bitter because
I can tell she's bitter when I see
we
her.
we had to get married on a Wednesday
Oh, my word.
because my daddy told me, he said, "Well, son, if you want me and your brother to be there, you're going to have to do it on a weekday."
Yeah.
Golly bum.
Yeah.
So
So
that's what you did. No, we couldn't plan it during vacation time.
So we got married on July the 1st of 1998, and yeah, the rest is history, man. It's God sent me the perfect woman. She is 27 years we've been married, and she has never. There's been those times when she says, I miss you so much, being gone and whatnot, but she's never put any pressure on me to be off the road or come off the road.
Well, she's literally that opposites attract.
Oh,
thing.
absolutely.
That's I think Brandy and I are very much, my strengths are not hers and her strengths are not mine. It's the
Oh,
same.
absolutely. You couldn't be any more different than me
Right.
and her. She's like,
Oh, buddy.
she is, Miss Personality.
Yeah.
She's, very extroverted, and she's
Very driven and just-
driven.
yeah.
What are you trying to say? Oh, she
very
is
motivated
she's-
and hard worker.
Yes,
And
it's the complete opposite of me.
a good,
right?
just a good person.
Good person. Yeah. Loves the Lord.
Merry Christmas, everyone. This is Jeff Chapman of Gold City, inviting you this holiday season to our presentation of a Gold City Christmas 2025 tour. Come join us for a wonderful evening of Christ-centered songs of the season, featuring the Band of Gold live and our special guest, Jim and Melissa Brady,
How I'm longing to ski through the snow.
and the Irwins.
Goodwill, may your dreams take flight.
We will be visiting 12 cities on our 2025 Christmas tour and performing songs off of our brand new Christmas album, Hope in a Manger. Go to goldcityministries.com for all the details, and we'll see you this Christmas season.
But she lived in Crossville, Tennessee when we met, and she's from Alabama, but they had moved up there, and we got married at the First Baptist Church in Crossville, Tennessee. Amen.
So she's from Alabama. They're from Alabama.
From Wadley, Alabama.
That's right. I forgot about that.
She comes from a family of educators, and her dad.
Yet again, opposite of you.
Yeah. Yes. Definitely not an educator, but anyway. He was the principal. He, of course, was a teacher, and then he was the principal at Wadley High School for years, and eventually became the superintendent of the county, and then he retired. And then they moved to Tennessee, and he was the principal of Crossville High School, Cumberland County High School, there in Crossville for, I think, about 10 years before he retired from there. But we got married there in Crossville, and yeah.
Been good.
You got 2 girls.
Yes.
Sadie and Tessa are their names.
Sadie and Tessa.
Yeah.
Sadie is 20. She was born in 2005, and Tessa, she's 15. She was born in 2010. Do the math there. And yeah, just great girl. Sadie's in college. She's going to Alabama. I guess I'll have to say roll tide now. But yeah, God's been good, man. We've got a beautiful family.
That's
and
awesome.
very
We're going to get
blessed.
Sadie on here one of these days, too.
We keep talking about it, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, she keeps asking about it.
Yeah.
Y'all are going to miss Wenda, though.
When's she leaving?
She's leaving after Christmas, I reckon.
Well, we'll get her. We'll get her before Christmas.
She keeps asking, when are they going to get me on that podcast?
Yeah. You can't be on it with her. Now it's just going to be her because we got to get all
That's
the lowdown.
fine.
You're not going to be able to strong arm her into telling nice things about you.
Well, look, I've got I control the purse string. She'll do whatever I tell her to do.
So let's go back to Chris. Just came in and kind of had all his little questions. He's a Mr. Organization and got his. We're sitting in the front lounge of the bus, and he's wrapped up in some Beatles shawl or something over here.
It's a blanket. It's a
blanket.
throw.
A throw.
A throw.
It's a throw. So anyway, when you went on the road with Gold City, 5-6 years when Mark Trammell left,
Mm-hmm.
and then you obviously ran into the baritone position.
Yeah, in 2002.
2002.
I tried out, and I got
You
the
did
position.
not. Give me a break. That's hilarious. So it was Jonathan, Jay, you, and your dad.
Yep,
Still had the band.
yep.
Y'all came out with Walk the Talk. Was that the
Yes.
first album?
Yes.
And then did you follow that up with a Christmas album?
Well, we did another album called Camp Meeting.
That's right. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That's a great. That was a fun album.
That was
a great.
That was
yes.
one of the most fun records we ever did.
It wasn't orchestration. It was
Oh, no,
just
it was
straight
just-
five-piece band, 4 or 5-piece
piano,
band.
bass, drums, and a guitar. That was
Perfect.
it.
I love that kind of
And,
stuff too.
Yeah, we had a ball doing that. But we did that, and then we did the Christmas, a Gold City Christmas.
Walk the Talk. When I heard it, especially that little baby, and
God handled it
God
all.
handled it all. And then it had somebody sing me a gospel. That's
Yep.
what opened it, wasn't it?
Yep.
It had that classic Gold City sound to me, and it's when I heard that I went, okay, because I was such a fan of the classic sound with what
Yeah.
Gary did and the guys did.
Well, me and Doug did that album. We produced it, and
Yeah.
we had, we had a lot of Gold City energy in us.
Well,
And
yeah.
So that was kind of all came out right there.
Well, it was
you
a
know.
killer. It was an incredible album.
It was. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it really was. Great songs and great production. You just did the other albums. Jay ends up leaving around 2004.
Yeah, we were working on that album called First Class,
Yeah.
and we were close to being done with that when Jay decided he was going to leave. So
Steve comes in.
and we brought in Steve Ladd, and that was his first.
Was that an
album
easy,
with us.
natural choice? Did that was there a process of trying a lot of tenors, or
Oh yeah,
was there?
oh yeah. And it's funny. I don't know why this sticks out in my mind, but Mom and Dad had a pool at the house they were in then, and me and Doug were out in the pool with his son Chapin, who was real small at that time. And Dad came out and said, "There's a guy on the phone, Steve Ladd, I think's what he said." And we'd been waiting on him to call us. We'd put out.
Well, he'd been singing with Anchorman like what, 7, 8 years at that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
So anyway, but yeah, Steve ended up. We hired him, and he was here for
A good long while.
a good while.
But around that same, had your dad already kind of swung it with Bill to fill in when he couldn't go and things like that?
yeah, well, Dad had a knee replacement and needed to take some time off the road, so Bill came and filled in.
Bill
with him.
Lawrence.
Yeah, Bill Lawrence. And then Dad.
He was ready to retire.
He decided to retire.
Yeah.
So we had Bill for
A few years there.
a few. Well, I don't.
I don't remember. It was.
A year or two. I can't
Yeah.
remember. It all runs together.
But that's when when he decided to retire, he and your mom, were they still kind of managing, controlling type things, or did he turn it over?
He was still involved when he retired the first time.
Okay.
To an extent. He didn't want to be, he wanted to retire.
Yeah.
Now my mom, she still handled all the business, all the bookkeeping, paying the bills, all that kind of stuff.
But as far as the direction and operation of the group, had he laid it in the hands of you and Doug
Pretty
at that
much.
point?
Pretty much, yep.
Okay.
I mean, he was quick to step in, if he needed to. But
yeah.
He was there to lead, guide, and direct us.
Right.
And
So then you end up, Aaron McCune comes in.
Aaron came in 2006.
Right. And was Doug still alive?
No.
Okay.
When Doug died, Bill was here.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And then Bill, he had a lot going on, and
Bill always had everything going
yeah.
on. I mean,
So
different.
he stepped
businesses
aside, and Aaron was singing with the Palmetto State Quartet, and we got to talking, and we brought Aaron on board. We had already been talking to New Haven Records about signing a deal with them. Me and Doug had met with Kenny Harding and Michael Sykes and Michael English. We were going to get them to do that first album. Me and Doug had already gone up and met with them and talked about the record and started kind of planning.
going in that direction, and that was a different direction with the Michaels. I mean,
Yes.
a vastly
Yeah.
different direction.
It was very much a different direction. But, we felt like we needed to kind of move in a little different direction. I don't think that if Doug had not passed away, I don't think we'd have gone as far in that other direction maybe.
It just had it had a Michael Sykes, Michael English feel. It
Yeah.
had a different,
For
more of
its
a.
time, though, it was pretty.
It was pretty different.
Progressive.
I mean,
yeah.
it was. And
I loved it.
I did too. But during that process, Doug was killed in a car wreck, and after that, we brought Aaron on, and then we started working on that first album with New Haven Records called Revival, and that was Jonathan was still here then. It was Steve and Jonathan, me and Aaron, and
Good group.
it was a really
good
good
group,
group.
yeah.
And I love that album.
That was
a great
we've
record.
talked a little bit about that, but there's a lot of personality struggles with that group, though. There was at that time, you had to be dealing with an enormous amount of pressure. I mean, in my mind. Now, is that not? Did you not feel that?
Oh, absolutely.
Because you're carrying the
1000%.
weight. You didn't have your dad on the road who managed. People can think whatever they want to. Tim Riley steps off the bus. Well, a lot of that respect's not automatically going to be thrown on you.
Oh, absolutely.
It doesn't
not,
work that
and that's
way.
totally understandable. You know.
Yeah. So you're going to have second.
You go from being a coworker, so to
the
speak,
boss.
to the guy everybody answers to.
Right.
And that is, it's hard for me, and it was hard for them.
That's not your personality.
No.
You're not the guy that wants everybody answering to you.
No.
That's not your
Absolutely
style.
not.
You're much more laid back in style and your managing
Well, I just
style,
want everything just to run itself, you know.
which can run amok.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
it literally a mess can start to happen. Well, you just it's one of those things of that's what can happen.
Yeah.
And
But it was very much, I mean, there were years there where I was, wishing that I had paid more attention to this and that. And, Dad tried to prepare us. He really wanted to retire. And he tried to prepare us, me and Doug, to be able to carry it on.
But then all of a sudden, you don't even have Doug.
And then all of a sudden, Doug is gone. And
it got dark for you, didn't it?
Very. When Doug was killed, I went through a really rough. I mean, I was really angry, and I spent.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a several years that I dealt with that, and not the way I should have.
So when you finally, and we've talked about this, you've told the stories of laying in bed and Holly laying beside you praying for you.
Oh yeah,
crying out to God for you.
Yeah,
that time.
I totally went off the rails, man.
Yeah,
I didn't want to pray. I was mad.
Well, you can't when
I was just mad. I
understand.
Line,
I get it.
I didn't. I mean, I was in bad shape from a mental standpoint. I was in a real bad shape.
How long did that go until? I mean, you tell this. This is not. You've got the counseling that you needed to work through those problems. How many years did you deal with that before it finally got to the point where?
Honestly, I mean, probably over 10.
Wow. That's incredible.
But you talk about, getting up on stage and, you don't know what the people you're singing to are dealing with.
Right.
But on the other side of that, they don't know
idea.
what you're dealing with.
They have
you get
no
up there
idea.
and you put your mask on, you get out there and do what you do, and there was a lot of years there that I was, no better way to say it than I was just angry. And I talk to people about counseling. In the age that I grew up, a man going to counseling, that was just not something you did.
Right.
Yeah.
It
It's
was-
become more common now, but
it's-
then it wasn't.
Well, it was a sign of weakness
Yes.
during that time, and you as a man, you don't want
But
to show
Holly-
any weakness.
Encourage that.
You found an incredible Christian counselor.
Incredible Christian counselor, a man that to this day, he is a hero in my life, and lots and lots of counseling. I went through the motions for a while just to appease her that I was, trying to get help, but he cracked through that in a pretty good amount of time there, and the most healing thing that I ever did, or that the breakthrough for me, I don't remember what year it was, but it was a long time after I started. He told me one day, he said, "I've got some homework that I want you to do." And I said, "Okay." And he said, "I want you to write a letter to your brother." And I said, "Okay." And I got in my truck and left, and I got about a mile down the road, and I fell all to pieces. Couldn't drive. I pulled off in a church parking lot, called Holly and said, "I don't think I can get home."
Wow.
But I did, and he never read it. Nobody ever read it. But it was one of the most healing things for
Really?
me to write that letter to my brother. I don't have it.
Really?
Nope.
You don't? Do you know where it went?
No.
Or-
I mean, it was just one of them things. I did it. I got it out. And it wasn't something like me and Doug had unfinished business. It
No.
was nothing like that.
It's probably just some resolution.
It was. And I never in my wildest imagination would have thought that would be the breakthrough, but it was. As far as, me starting to actually come around and get over
Yeah.
that.
And that wasn't the end of it,
Oh, no.
as far as what you dealt with and what you went through. I mean, that took many more years. And
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's still, you still have your days. But most of today, in recent years, it's mostly just, and y'all hear me all the time on the bus. My brother would say, I mean,
and then it's usually something hilarious.
He's still here, and, but there were, I mean, and it created problems for Gold City through all that.
Well, I mean, there's no way around that.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
And,
So your dad came back.
well, Aaron left in 2008 or 2009, I think, somewhere around there. And so Dad came back, and
Reluctantly. He wanted
Yeah.
to come back to help, but he still wanted to be retired.
well, he was coming back to help till we found somebody, and
Right.
it ended up lasting several years.
Yeah. Well, the thing, and we've talked about this, he was incredible when he retired the first time. Mind-blowing what he could do. When he came back, there was something. I don't know if it was just I don't know what it was.
It was about 4.5 years of rest.
That's because he had never had a break in his
No.
life as a singer.
Nope.
But it was the freakiest tone.
That was incredible.
Yeah.
It's indescribable to me. I don't know if you're going to say what's the greatest bass low note tone ever. There it is.
That Hymn Revival album, which was the last
It's the
main
last
line
one he
that
did.
he was a part of. There's just some wonderful
Well, he was a literal
things
machine
on there
too.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't. It was every night. It was just
Yep.
just the clarity of that tone. It's. I can't. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's incredible. If people have not heard it, they need to get that Hymn Revival album and
Yeah.
listen to it.
I'll tell you, as his son that's been hearing him my entire life, I never got used to it. Standing on stage beside him every night, it never got any less amazing to me.
Well, it's the weirdest thing for me because I never got to sing with Tim. But we at Norm Basden's funeral, y'all were there, and they had asked me to sing Midnight Cry, and we got up, and y'all came up and sang. That we didn't have microphones. It was just
Right.
we were around a pulpit at a small church. That chorus started. Now we're singing. I mean, it's Midnight Cry is not a low song, so we're having to sing up and project.
Right.
And here's this bass voice coming at me from this side, from the left side over here, that sounded like he was on a microphone.
Oh yeah,
It was the craziest resonance of anything I've ever heard.
His voice resonated. I mean, honestly, you could hear him from. I mean, across the river. I mean, I could hear my dad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
he
yeah.
could be on one side of a convention center, me on the other, and I could hear him.
Yeah. But I mean, what was nutty was the low notes. I
It
mean,
was-
even when he
they
dropped to
were
the low
just-
notes, it was just as loud and
projected.
clear, and it
Yep.
was just crazy. I've never
Yeah.
heard anything like that.
Mm-mm.
Usually, a bass singer, you can't hear them unless they have a microphone.
Yeah.
On the lows, especially,
Yep.
it was just insane. So when he came back, that had to be a little bit of a special time.
Absolutely.
And then you got to record some of that. So
Yeah.
and I think what is also so neat about you, because you produce and engineer, is what you will pull out of a bass singer because of what you learned from your dad, I think, and it's just the expectations of what you have on this new Christmas album we did. Jeff is what Jeff did on Oh Holy Night. When I heard it, absolutely blew my mind. Those notes, the way he was moving, and that was you know, and I know he probably didn't want to do some of that stuff, but you made him do it.
Well, you know,
he
when
could do it. That was
Dad,
the thing.
Dad was the same way.
Oh, yeah.
It's to be like, why can't we just do it like we've always done it? You know, but when you know somebody can do it, you want them to do it.
Well, Jeff can.
And I knew Jeff could do it.
Yeah, Jeff is one of the most
And
musical bass singers I've ever heard.
He stood in there in the vocal booth just whining and going on. And
but he did it.
yes, he did it.
And it's
he nailed
epic.
it.
It's a bass singing clinic on Oh
Yeah.
Holy Night. I mean, it's just, and he's not the feature, so.
No, and that's the thing. We can't wait for you folks to hear the new cut, the new Christmas cut. It's coming out November the 21st.
They can hear Oh Holy Night now because
can-
it's out on some of the
Yes,
streaming.
it's already
Apple
out
Music.
there.
It's on our YouTube page.
YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify.
I thought we got in trouble for that, so it was okay, I
Electrify.
guess. Okay.
No, apparently the digital distributor
They put it
the
out
one that put it up
on ours. How about that?
Yeah,
I'm
how
not sure
about
how
it?
they did that.
Yeah.
Pretty
But
cool.
anyway, yeah.
So you can preview that track. But anyway, the whole album comes out November 21st. So
That'll be it here.
speaking of
any
Christmas,
day now.
any day.
But we went through a horrible situation there around the 2009, 2010 with people coming and going.
Yeah,
You know,
it
we
kind
were-
of started a revolving door.
We were
for a
doing
while.
that album, Somebody's Coming,
Yeah.
and I had 2 or 3 different lead singers during that album, 2 different tenor singers, and so yeah, that was rough. That was a rough patch there, and yeah.
Through everything, what's one thing, Danny, that you want somebody that's followed Gold City or heard Gold City? What's one thing you want them to remember about Gold City after Gold City's gone, years from now?
Many years from now.
Many years from now.
We got to get through our careers.
What, yeah, we got to get through what we're doing first. But what do you want people to remember about Gold City?
Well, you know,
The heart of Gold City.
First and foremost, you know, it's my prayer that the songs, you know, so far you've got 45 years worth of music that's been put out by Gold City, that those songs would continue to minister to people and bless people. That's first and foremost. And I also want people to remember that we always held ourselves to a high standard and put everything we had into it, that we took it seriously. It was not fun and games, that, you know, this was a group of guys that took what they do seriously and did it to the best of their ability. You know, there's something to be said for excellence, and I don't say that, you know, that's subjective, whether somebody likes your singing or likes your group. You know, different people like different things, but, you know, we do it at the highest level that we're capable of, and we're
Right.
constantly trying to be capable of an even higher level.
absolutely.
And that's a matter of caring about what you do. And, you know, when you think about the impact this music has on people, I believe that God expects you to give your very best.
Yeah.
And so I hope that people will remember that we gave it all we had.
Yeah. Absolutely. I've talked to several former members of Gold City over the years, and their answer is that they never realized what they were doing during that, you know, in the moment.
Right.
They were just trying to do it to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that Ivan told me one time, he said, we were always trying to not outdo the other.
They were
but
competitive.
If one person was giving 100%, we were going to give 110.
Yeah.
And then that person would try to.
Well, that's iron
You know.
sharpens iron.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, the better, you know, you surround yourself with people. I like to surround myself with people that challenge me,
Sure.
that make me want to be better, that make me feel like I've got to rise to the occasion here. And there's been a lot of folks here through the years that have done that. But
I feel like we have a team now that does that.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we all
But through
push
it
each
all,
other
we've
to
had
do different things.
what people would say are great groups. We've had what some people might say are not great groups. But we've always done the best we could possibly do.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty tough thing. We just finished the the hymn revival album, and Dad had that stroke, and he retired.
Golly, and see, we forget about that because you get so your Doug's gone. Tim comes back, so you're getting a little bit of normalcy. With Tim being back, at least something's somewhat normal again, and then that happens. So then you're like, it's just kind of chaos. I'm sure again with what you're dealing with now. Chris West was running sound at that time. Is that right?
No,
He wasn't.
no,
Was he with the group?
no.
So what did you do for a bass singer during that time?
Well, I called him,
Okay.
and he came.
Did Tim come back and sing some?
No,
Okay.
he came. Well, he came back for a couple of. He came to a convention one year and sang.
Okay. Yeah.
After he had that stroke, he did recover pretty well from it. But he, of course, he decided that he was going to stay retired.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as far as the group goes, it wasn't as earth shattering that time in terms of, of course you go from, he's there on stage with you one
Yeah.
day, and then you're having
Yeah.
to figure something else out. But when he came back the second time, he literally didn't have. He
Right.
let me do
Yeah.
my thing. He didn't
Yeah.
want to run the group.
He just wanted to sing.
So all that was already in place, and but that again, that was a rough time there.
Well, let's get to modern day. So, you caught wind that Chris was a huge Gold City fan.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Barbara Huffman, which me and Chris had passed and repassed, they
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah.
When we were with the Kingsmen, hey Chris, hey Danny.
Right.
That we didn't talk a lot. You
told me you didn't really like him.
well, I didn't. No, but we never had.
That's a joke.
We never. We didn't really talk that much.
No, just
just-
working together. On
Yeah.
You tried to
different
talk to Danny a
programs.
lot, didn't you? He wouldn't talk to you.
Well,
Right. Anyway.
you know.
Anyway, but Barbara Huffman told me one time that Chris was like a big Gold City fan. I didn't know that, and
Yeah, because she did an article on me. They were doing a feature in the Singing News, and it was actually on the same issue as when your dad was on the cover. And I was just thrilled to death because I thought, they do always do the little features there on the cover for the individuals. And I was just thrilled to death that, my picture was going to be in the corner of the issue with Tim Riley on the front. That was when they did the feature
pretty
about
neat.
him
Yeah.
and his restoring his truck.
his truck.
Yeah. And so she did that interview, and I guess that's how she learned that. And I told her. Matter of fact, in that issue, I had a picture of when I was a kid, and my whole wall was filled with every Gold City cassette, every Gold City album that I had, every video, every picture signed. It was all, I had it all. I had like a Gold City display in my room growing up.
So
And there was a
found
picture
out
of that in that. in
Chris
that
was
article.
kind of a Gold City freak. You didn't know to what level.
Fanatic. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of. What do you
Holly
call
didn't
it?
have Gold City stuff on the wall, but Chris
No.
did.
Oh yeah. No. But a few years ago, I was 50 years old, and I was kind of at a place where I'm not getting any younger, and I don't want this to sound bad by any means, but I thought it's I want to have that group.
Yeah.
I want to have a group that can be what people expect Gold City to be. Had great groups. Don't want anybody to take that the wrong way. We had some great groups in those years. But we didn't have that classic Gold City sound.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, I was sitting, in my mind, I'm just like, I want to, and you got people around you that you love, and, it was just a really hard thing, but I decided I'm going to rebuild this group. And Chris and I don't even remember how we started talking. I honestly don't. I think you caught wind that we may be making a change, and
I did, and I was. That's when Jaquita and I were getting married, and I was moving to the Nashville area, which was going to put me a lot farther away from North Carolina and a lot closer to Alabama, and so I never thought I would ever have the chance to sing with Gold City. Not because I didn't want to,
either.
or
didn't
not
think I was ever going to have the chance. That's the honest truth.
But I just never had a desire to relocate or commute that far.
Right.
But when I moved, I thought, well, this is doable, and I thought, this I may, have a chance to sing with my favorite group, and I think we could
Your
do some
favorite
good
baritone
things.
singer
Favorite baritone
all
singer of all time.
Yeah.
Favorite producer,
And then you could-
engineer.
Then you could have your own picture on that Gold City wall with Gold City. We'll
So-
sign it for you.
Yes.
But that was the beginning of the rebuilding process, and then
It was, yeah.
it took place over the course of
About a year, wasn't
about a
it?
year,
Yeah.
and Jeff came on board next.
It all kind of just fell into place.
Well, it did. Things kind of situations came up that
Well, I mean, some unfortunate situations that came up that required you dealing with those issues, personnel and things that
Yeah.
were going on. But the thing about it is how the Lord kind of, I fully believe the Lord had laid this out for you and for Gold City and for us,
yeah.
because it literally just started falling into place. And I don't think you could have pulled this off if you just said, this is who I want to do.
didn't sit down at my kitchen table and make a list,
Right.
I was like, I've got to do something. I've got to, I want to redo this thing.
Yeah.
And I, you know what? God just blessed it. I mean, Chris came along, and then next was Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, he'd filled in with us several times over the years.
Yet another huge Gold City fan.
Right.
Tim Riley, Gold City fan's
Yep.
his favorite group.
And I'm getting to that in just a minute. But, everybody was bugging Jeff
Oh, yeah.
to come here. And I called Jeff one day, and I said, Jeff, I know everybody's bugging you because they're bugging me. People were calling me, man, you need to get Jeff Chapman. And they were telling him, man, you need to go to Gold City. And I called him one day. I said, Jeff, I said, you know that you're welcome here if you want to come here. I said, I'm not offering you the job right now. You've got a job. I said, but I'm going to turn off the noise. You turn off the noise, and if the Lord wants this to happen, it'll happen.
Yeah.
And sure enough, he came to fill in with us one weekend, and we'd talked about it, and he just didn't have and he may talk about this when y'all talk to him. I don't
Yeah,
want to
he will.
steal his thunder, but
Yeah.
anyway, the Lord let him know this was the right move for him. So he comes, and then not too long after that, we needed a lead singer, and I called you and asked you if you knew anybody,
That was crazy.
and you told me that you didn't, but that you were kind of
Well, I had just resigned the church
You
like
had
2
some
days
free
before.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had some time.
So I went over there to y'all's place and sat down with you, and Brandy was in there studying for a test. I
She
remember
was,
that.
yeah. She's Pilates doing
Yeah.
out.
But anyway, you came out and filled in. Next thing you know, the Lord
Here we
worked
are.
in your heart, and here you
Mhm.
are. And
Off we go.
and to be surrounded by not just people that love to sing, not just people that love this music, but people that grew up on Gold City, that love Gold City, that treasure Gold City.
Yeah.
It's a part of y'all's lives growing up.
Absolutely.
And to have guys like y'all here, it gives me, and I feel like, me and Dad have talked about it. I think it gives him, it's just, you feel like these guys care about the legacy. And again,
much
that's not to say that there were people here before that didn't. It's just that every man on this bus is like, grew up with Gold City, loving Gold City.
I think we all feel like if we can reach the standard for what they had done, honestly, what Ivan and Brian and Mike and Steve and then Jay and all of them had done, to the level that they were doing it, and if we can live up to that standard, we've done something.
Yeah.
So that's a good goal, and I feel like for me now, I feel like we're still striving for that, but I think we also have even broader horizons that we're looking at and
Well, we
want to go do, and we want to do our own thing.
As the new era of Gold City, we want to, you had the Tim Riley, Ivan Parker, Brian Free,
Yeah.
Mike Lefevre, and then Steve Lacey.
Yeah.
You had that era. They made their mark.
Yes.
And then you had the Jay, Jonathan, Mark, Tim era, and they made their mark.
Yep.
And we've had so many personnel issues over the years, we haven't had really a group of guys stay together long enough to make their mark.
Right.
And this is the group we're going to make our mark.
And everybody's determined to do that.
Absolutely.
There's not
And
nobody's looking to go somewhere or do something different.
No, and everybody on this bus takes, just like I was talking about earlier, take this seriously and bring
Yeah.
their absolute best every week when they get on this bus. And for me, that means so much. To know that my dad, who, is still there 100% mentally, but physically he can't get around like he used to, but he's sitting there in his house and he knows this legacy that he worked so hard through the years building.
Yeah.
He was the constant there for so many years.
Absolutely.
He knows that that's in good hands. Not just with me, but with the guys I'm surrounded by. And
Well, it has to make him feel good for you, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, it makes us feel good too that he's pleased with
Absolutely. Yeah.
how his legacy's being carried on. Every time you go over there and you'll tell me, come back to the bus and tell me that I let him hear this or I let him hear our new cut of that. That makes me feel really good that he's proud of how we're handling his
Well, it's
legacy.
funny, a few weeks ago, after we got finished mixing this Christmas album, I was going to let him hear some of it, and I'd play a song. And I said, Dad, I'm not going to make you listen to the whole thing. And he was like, I want to listen to the whole thing. Let it play, son. And but the funniest thing, one night I went over to visit and made the mistake. We'd just come out with those 45th anniversary books that have all
Yeah,
the
photo
pictures.
book, yeah.
That and
Where can you get those, Chris?
GoldCityMinistries.com.
we
Ship it right to you.
Buy him autograph if you ask.
Yes.
we had got those books in, and I made the mistake. I went over there to visit. I made the mistake of handing that to him when I walked in the door, and he never said a word.
Never
he
looked
was,
up, did he?
He was in that book.
Had to be just a flood of memories. For
Oh, I
him
was just
looking
sitting
through
there
that.
watching him, man. It was, and he'd hold up a picture and say, "That's so and so right there," and then he'd tell me, I'll never forget we took that picture right there. He'd tell me stuff,
We need to go over there and see him again and go through that book with him on a podcast.
Oh,
and
yeah.
just kind of talk about some of that stuff.
That'd be cool.
But you know what? I really feel like the Lord put us together
Without a doubt.
for a purpose, and I feel like He's blessing us. You look at the first 3 radio releases is one song's the most played song of the year, Help Is on the Way, and then the next 2 releases are #1 songs, which has never happened. That's never happened with Gold City, so that's kind of neat that we
No,
did
I didn't
something.
know that. Chris, of course, the wealth of Gold City
Oh, yeah.
information, pointed out that Gold City's never had 2 #1 songs on the same album.
Yeah, and they were consecutive releases, so it's
Right.
just kind of crazy.
Is that what you said?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
They've never had 2 on
2
yeah,
on the same record.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very neat. So it's obvious the Lord's blessing, and we're all very
Well, and
excited and happy.
I feel very blessed because I have through the years went through some really rough times, some excruciating growing pains, learned a lot of things the hard way. But somebody told me one night, it's been a year ago or maybe a little more. They said, they were telling me how proud they were and how great the group sounded with you guys, and said, you've been faithful for all these years, and I think God's honoring that in these days, and I feel like He is. I mean, He's given me, in my opinion, the absolute best person at each position in this group, and we all respect each other, and we hold each other accountable, we hold each other up, and it's just, I'm telling you, after all these years, it's just like I'm living my childhood again.
Well, we are having a lot of fun too, so that's awesome. You got anything else? You got any other questions in your little book there, Thanksgiving boy?
We're not gonna have to do a third one of these, are we?
No,
I think we got her covered.
Not until y'all run out of other people again. Then we'll
Yeah,
come
there'll be a
back to
time
me.
we don't have anybody. So
Danny, I guess why don't you be on the
you
podcast?
want to talk about something, Danny?
I was going to ask you what you were looking forward to in 2026, but after the
my
year that
goodness.
we've had with you mixing and engineering and everything like that, you're looking forward to some rest.
and recovery.
Yeah, but you know
R
what?
and R.
I don't think it's happening. We've got
That's
we've
something
got
all
this
the time.
we've got this deal we started with Gary back before he got sick that we're
Almost done.
really excited about.
Yeah, and it's
so-
almost finished. So.
Now I'm not planning on recording a note
Huh?
until after Christmas.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll ask Joel about that.
yeah. Of course, I'll do what I'm told.
Thanks,
No, but,
thanks, friends. Bye,
yeah.
friends. Give us a bye, friends.
Bye,
Chris.
friends.
That ought to do it.
Thank y'all.